By now, you've probably heard someone say they are so hungry, they're hangry. Hangriness is no joke, it's real. Is there an off button, though? Is there an off switch? Because we know you get hungry. Right now, actually, I'm a little bit hungry. Means my blood sugar.
And you get a little grouchy.
You know what it is?
I mean, you're aware of your hunger, and you need to graze.
It's time.
You need to graze, so to speak.
They're literally right on the other side of that wall. There are a few healthy nut bars for when I get a little bit of hangry going on. Because I have to nip it in the bud.
But you know yourself,
Yeah,
and
you're
you're
in touch with it, I think.
acknowledging
That's-
that. And
But Drew, what's so hungry? Let's just talk about this really quickly. You know, when your blood sugar levels drop, your hunger hormones will basically rise and tell you, oh, it'd be nice to eat a little meal right now. But Drew, talk to me about the difference between just being hungry, like, hey, I want to eat some food, versus hangry.
They did a study. This comes out of the University of North Carolina. Your rivals there,
Yes,
right?
Yes, indeed.
At UNC. And what they did, they created two groups. They wanted to test this hungry versus hangry. First group, you had people in the group that were both full and hungry. And they were given the opportunity to write down about their feelings. Hey, I'm hungry, I'm full, I'm in touch with the way I feel. They had a second group. These people were hungry, but they did not write down exactly how they felt. Now, both groups were then given a tedious task. In this case, they were working on the computer, and the computer had a sudden crash. So at that point, they looked to see how the two groups reacted, and obviously the person that was hangry did not respond well. What the study shows is that if you're in touch with your feelings going into it, you're going to respond to some sort of event.
So even the person who was hungry, who had monitored their feelings about being hungry, they responded better than the person who they're hungry,
they didn't
and
get
then the
hangry.
slightest thing sets them off. They're not in touch with their hungry feelings.
Yes.
Yeah, well, they weren't thinking about how their hunger was coloring how they felt
Yes,
about
they
it.
No
didn't-
self-awareness
So,
there.
They
Yes.
didn't let that hunger drive them crazy, go off the deep end, whereas the person who did become hangry had not been in touch with, hey, I'm hungry and I'm a little more stressed out.
I'm being self-aware. The show must go on.
This topic, I think.
Well, and you see it. I mean,
we all see it, of
certain
course.
people do get irritable.
Bars.
So,
What am I going to do? Calm down, self-awareness.
Yeah,
I'm hungry.
Be aware. Be
Don't be
aware you're
hangry.
hungry.
Sip-
Yes.
There's literally
sip on your tea.
Yeah, but I think it does go to the point that if you're aware of whatever your situation physiologically,
Yes.
that is going to make you cope with things a little bit better when surprises come your way. And so I thought this was interesting because they purposefully crashed these computers, and then the researcher ran in and blamed the subject, the person using the computer, for making it crash, and then they documented how they responded. Were you really furious, or were you just kind of like, oh well, things
That's
happen?
a great point. In this case,
Yeah.
we're talking about hunger, but I mean, you can apply it probably to all sorts of different physical feelings if you're tired.
Exactly. I
For
was thinking
example,
about
I mean, you could
exhaustion, yeah.
exhaustion.
Sleep deprived, I'm not
like
feeling
one
so
group
great.
tired, the other group not tired, and then how do they react to something stressful? I mean,
the mind-body connection we know now is so important. And if you're having these bizarre physiologic changes due to hunger, your mind is not going to be in the right place unless you remind yourself, okay, I got to finish this meeting. I have to finish hosting this show. I will not allow the fact that I am hungry to make me hangry.